Well, hi everybody, and welcome to another My Favourite Ipswich Town 11. I'm Mike Bacon, and these features, you seem to be enjoying these features so much. I've got to keep going with them. I keep told them people want more. They want more Favourite Ipswich Town 11s. They want to hear who people liked and have loved over the years. And yes, I was even It's funny. The other week I wasn't in Sainsbury's. I don't shop in Sainsbury's anymore. I go to Asda now, and in Asda, would you believe? Yeah, somebody stopped me in there and said, "We haven't had one of your favourite Ipswich Town 11s lately, Mike." I said, "Well, I will try and rectify that," of which I am doing today, and I hope you enjoy listening to this young man, Zip Favourite Ipswich Town 11 now. If you're a darts fan and you've ever fancied playing Michael Van Gerwen or Gerwin Price or Peter Snakebite Wright and all these strange names they have, big thing darts. Now, this guy plays all of them. He mixes it with all of them. A fantastic darts player, heading towards the top 50 in the world, I suppose. In the world, that's like the whole planet, which is amazing. And he's a born and bred Ipswich Town fan as well, and he lives up in Leiston in Suffolk. Well, he did last time. I'll ask him in a minute. He might have moved house by now with all these winnings. He might be in a big mansion somewhere now, for all I know. It's Ryan Meikle. Ryan, nice to speak to you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm very well, thank you. I'm looking forward to this. It's been good fun.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to listening to what you've got to say. But look, let's talk about this darts thing and this, because darts is big. It's big business now, Ryan. I remember. See, I'm a bit older than you, so I remember back in the days, the Jockey Wilsons and the Eric Bristows of this world, when darts was very big news. And it's sort of, I think it died a bit of a death, but it's certainly come back the last 10 years or so with Sky and the Premier League and these. And you play them all, don't you, Ryan? You play them all.
Yeah, no, it's been good really. Like I said, the last few years, that's really taken off again, and I think on got viewing figures on Sky, they say I think it's second behind football. So I think it's a very popular sport to watch on TV at the moment. But yeah, I'm lucky enough to I've been on the tour for 7-8 years now, so I get to play all the top players and hopefully get a win or two.
Now, have you had a win or two? That's the thing. Have you beaten any of these big boys? Because I used to play darts for the Smock pub in Norwich, near just off Maidenhall Road in Ipswich, where I didn't really beat anybody. But come on, who have you taken any big scalps?
Yeah. I've had a few good wins. I've beat Peter Wright 2 times, Michael Smith, Simon Whitlock, Rob Cross, beat him 2 times. Yeah, Van Gerwen, I've played him twice, and I've actually missed darts to beat him twice and lost. So and Gerwen Price is another one. I've played him twice. I haven't beat him yet either. So yeah, they're the sort of people you want to mix it against, and I seem to be pushing them every time. So I'm still all right.
So how high can we go, Ryan? I mean, we're a little way off this Premier League yet, but yeah, it must be what you would love. That would be your dream, surely.
Yeah, of course it is. Like you say, it's a tough thing to get into. But I don't look too far ahead. Like I say, I'm top 50, be top 50 in the world soon, and if this time next year, if I can be pushing top 40 and just gradually build up, we'll see how high we can go.
Fantastic. Well, I think it's terrific. There's a lot of local sportsmen around who we don't really sort of know what they're getting up to and how high they're going. And you're one of them. I'm very impressed to hear that. And of course, more importantly, just as important, you're an Ipswich Town fan. Not just any old Ipswich Town, big Ipswich Town fan. Am I not correct, Ryan? Because often you tweet about Ipswich Town. I'm asking you how you're getting on in your darts, and you ask me how Ipswich Town got on today. I mean, it's that sort of thing. So, Ryan, how did Ipswich Town come about? It's always been your club, I suppose.
Yeah. Since I was really young, to support the local team. Luckily, I got a brother as well, and my dad started taking us at a very young age. Really, when we were kind of 8, 9, we've had season tickets for years and years. So that's the only club I've ever supported, and you get quite passionate about it.
You do get passionate. We've had Keith Deller on here, another great darts world champion, of course. He's very passionate about it. Know Keith? You must know Keith quite well, I suppose.
Yeah, I know Keith very well. We've had a few practice sessions together, and it's always made me laugh. A few of the darts commentators, they always say, we always know when Ipswich are lost on a Saturday, because there's me, Kev Painter, we'll all be tweeting on a Saturday, and so it's quite funny, really. But no, we all love Ipswich, and hopefully this is the season.
Oh well, I mean, yes. Let's quickly talk about that before we get into your favourite 11. I mean, it's been. I mean, by the time this goes out, hopefully, we'll still be unbeaten. Well, we'll be hopefully because we're going out before the Plymouth game, hopefully. But even if you watched it after the Plymouth game, hopefully we're still beaten. We beat Plymouth. It's been a great start, hasn't it, Ryan, to this season?
Yeah, it's incredible, really. I mean, like Saturday, I think everyone's a bit disappointed to drop 2 points, but before the game, to play, you'd have took a draw against Sheffield Wednesday. But I've been to all the home ones, and it's just since McKenna's been there, the football's just incredible, and there is a slightly different feel about things now. I don't want to jinx things, but I'm hoping we can, this year just push on and get in that top two, and we ain't got to worry about the playoffs then.
Yes. Do we want to go to Wembley or do we want to go straight up, Ryan?
No, straight up, straight up. We don't want to go to Wembley. We'll go to Wembley for the old Papa Pizza Cup.
The Papa Pizza Cup. That's absolutely correct. That's what we call it as well. We know what it's called.
Pizza Cup, I know it as. So
yeah, the pizza. We don't. Do you know?
That's another chance for us to get to Wembley. So because I don't think we've been there, have we? We're one of the only. There's not many teams that have never played at the new Wembley. I think we're one of them.
Quite correct. Very good. Yeah, the new Wembley. We certainly haven't. No, because obviously the last time Town were at Wembley was 2000. So, yeah, it would be nice. We haven't played at the new Wembley. A nice pepperoni pizza cup win and a promotion. Perfect. And Ryan Meikle back on the in the Sky Premier Sports top 10. That'd be even nicer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be a great year. Yeah, win the World Championship at Christmas, and that'd be good.
Where's that being held, Ryan?
That's Alexandra Palace. I start on the 15th of December, and that runs.
Are you automatically seeded into it?
I'm already qualified. Yeah, I've already qualified. So yeah, I'll be coming into the top 32. Coming second round now. So I'm in the first round. So yeah, it's nice to have qualified for that quite early on in the year.
Excellent. Right. Well, that starts sorted out. Now we're going to your favourite Ipswich Town 11, which is what we're all here for. We're very excited about this, Ryan. You look a young chap, so I don't imagine there's going to be many older players here, but I don't know. I have no idea what your favourite 11 is. It's very exciting. So, hey, look, Ryan, so I always ask people if they've got a formation, because some people get very excited about formations. I always say on this podcast, I'm really not interested, but have you got a formation at all, or is it just like throw them all out like Rob Chandler did with about 6 strikers?
Oh really? Yeah. No. I've gone for a formation. I've gone just for a simple 4-4-2, and
Nice.
yeah, I've worked around a little bit because I wasn't sure who I wanted. But yeah, I've just gone for a 4-4-2.
It's quite funny because I spoke to you before we talked. You said it's quite stressful. It's quite stressful doing this. You're not the first person who said that.
I know. I need a 15-man team, I think, because like I said, it's nice because I've always watched these as well. So obviously, people like Keith and a lot of people you've had on here. Well, I wasn't really around, with all the great players we've had over the years. Well, I was unfortunate not to see them. So I've only really seen Ipswich, 14 years straight in the Championship and a relegation. So, there's a few more modern players around that I've picked. And, yes, it's nice, slightly different.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. It's your favourite 11, Ryan. Remember, it's not your best 11. The favourite players you've enjoyed watching Ipswich Town. Doesn't matter if it's been for 3 years or 300 years. Not that it'd be 300 years, of course. That's a silly thing for me to say. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, Ryan, who's your goalie then?
Right. So my goalkeeper is Kelvin Davis.
Right.
Yeah. Just, when I first started playing, he was there for a good few seasons. And a little silly moment, really. I always remember him because I used to sit behind the goal when I was younger. And I remember him saving a penalty against Sunderland. He tipped around the post and it sounds silly, but it was a corner. He quickly got the ball because I think they stopped for an injury or something, and he got the ball and put it back on, and without the ref knowing, he kind of looked in the crowd and he looked at us and winked and put his thumb up, and then the ref didn't even know. They all moaned because they should have had a corner, and he just took the goal kick like it was nothing. So that always stuck with me, really. He always used to look at the crowd, and he was just it just seemed a nice bloke.
So he got a little tip round from the corner. He saved it.
He
actually
saved the penalty. He saved the penalty.
The ref didn't know.
And I think it might have been Marcus Stewart who took the penalty for Sunderland.
Oh, right.
And he tipped it around the post, but they all wanted. Obviously, it was a corner, but he could, before the ref saw, he just got the ball, put it on the spot, and took a goal kick. It's just funny how little things stick with you. But he was a solid goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper as well. So he was one of my favourites.
He was a good goalkeeper, Kelvin. Yes, he was. Again, and not a goalkeeper a lot of people would think of just off the top like that. You got, especially in your area, probably Bilikowski particularly is probably a very much a main man.
Bart was my second choice. That was a tough one, but
and even Christian Walton now. But Kelvin, he was a Yeah, he was a very good goalkeeper, very solid goalkeeper, a very popular goalkeeper as well. Well, excellent. So we're not going to rush through. We're going to take our time, but that's very nice start there, Ryan. We all like that. So hey, a back four. Then do you want to just start us with a right or left back and then go into
I'll go left back. I think this is quite a popular probably pick, and I've gone for Aaron Creswell. Just when I used to play football, I was left-footed, and I don't think there's many sweeter left-foots out there than what Aaron Creswell had. And I think he's got to be up there, one of the best left backs we've probably had. And I remember when we got him from Tranmere, was it Tranmere?
Tranmere Rovers, I think Paul Jewell, was it Paul Jewell brought him because Jewell, I think Paul Jewell was up,
But that was another story I knew about him. He they reckon someone told him, he said, look, you need to sign this left back from Tranmere. But he was injured at the time when they brought him. So they reckon they didn't even look at him, didn't really see him play. They just relied on this person and just went out and brought him. But that turned out to be a good buy.
He's thing with Cresswell is he's done so well. It'd be lovely if he'd been in the Premier League with Ipswich, but we must have done well to sign him because he's gone on to do what he has.
Yeah, and you think what West Ham brought him for now? 3 million, was it? He'd be worth treble that when he in today's sort of. But yeah, he was just and he scored free kicks, corners. His balls in the box was just incredible, really.
It's been an interesting position, I always think, with Ipswich Town and left backs over the years. I mean, we've had some good ones. Obviously Mings has done well, and even today with Leif Davis, coming in on a lot of money. We get good full backs in Ipswich Town. I liked Cresswell. I think he's been a popular choice actually among a lot of fans.
Yeah, I mean, you feel sorry for that Greg Lee because he's never disappointed either. He's probably a bit unfortunate not to be, a starting 11. So we've got good competition for left backs this season.
Good competition, exactly. And Aaron Creswell, your left back man in your favourite Ipswich Town 11, and why not as well? A fine player. So right, so we've got Aaron at the left back. What about right back? What are we going to do at right back?
I've gone for Fabian Wilness. He was another one. I think 9 years he was at the club, and like I say, when I first had my season ticket, he was just the regular, probably one of the first names on the team sheet. And I always remember him for his long throw as well. He had a very long throw, didn't he? So I was a big fan of Fabian Wilness, so that's why I've gone for him at right back.
You remember his goal against Manchester United, or weren't you there that Premier League season? You probably weren't, were you? No, you're a bit too young.
Yeah. I can't remember that actually.
When were you born?
96.
Oh, you were 4 or 4.5, so you weren't there. No, he scored that fantastic goal against Manchester United in the opening Premier League game of the season at Portman Road.
I've seen it though. I've seen it on Twitter, I think.
The whole place erupted. And Fab was he was a great fullback, wasn't he? He was a great player.
I think he was a great character, like around the club. He seemed a very liked man as well. So I'm a big fan of him.
And he didn't like Norwich City much, I think, which rather endeared him.
It's always a bonus.
Can't remember what he said. But I said something about I won't have any of them in my team. I can't remember what he said. But before a Derby game, he came out with some sort of stuff. But very quick player. Yeah, I mean, Fab was fab. He was fab. A lot of people liked him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's a couple of good fullbacks there. You got a decent bit of pace as well in your fullbacks because both of them can run.
Yeah. I ain't got too much pace in my centre backs though.
Okay. Well, where did you used to play, by the way, when you played football?
I was a left back, funny enough. Yeah.
For who?
I played for Wickham Market.
All right.
And I also played for Suffolk as well for a few years as well. Yeah, but then obviously when the darts sort of took off a bit, football took a bit of a back seat. So I was always a bit worried about getting injured or something.
Yeah.
So last season I still played the odd game on a Sunday, funny enough, for Leiston. And it was nice to play again, but it's just a bit of a worry, if you get injured or you'd be known as the most silliest person ever, really. So I don't play too often now.
Well, while we're talking of things like this, because I'm thinking of you with a leg injury trying to do the walk-on song on your darts. Do you have a walk-on song? You must have.
Yeah. I have. Funny enough, I changed it last year. It's called it's Kung's Cooking on Burner, My Girl. And it's one of the ones. If you listen to it, you'd know it.
You know that, yeah.
England, the ladies used it when they scored a goal in the Euros.
Ah, very good.
So,
Oh, look,
yeah,
listen out.
just a bit of
Listen
a
out for
proud
that.
one. Yeah.
So would you get it in round 1 at Alexandra Palace when you walk on?
Yeah. I'm at the Minehead one in November as well, the Players' Championship.
All right.
That's on ITV, middle of November, I think. So
Brilliant. Oh, we've digressed onto darts, Ryan. We're talking Ipswich Town favourite 11. Now, look, that's great. So we've got your good, you've got your good fullbacks. Now you've worried me already about I've got no pace in my centre half. Now I don't know who you're about to announce, but they'll probably disagree with you. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll probably all agree.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So one of my two centre backs, Jason DeVos. He was one of my favourites. You know, big, strong.
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And he was captain as well, so he was a good leader, and he was always good for a goal. You know, from set pieces, he was always good in the opposition box. So a bit of an old school centre back, I always thought, and probably nowadays wouldn't get. You don't see much now, do you? Them sort of centre backs, but no, I really like Jason DeVos. He was a quality player.
Very intelligent man as well, and I think he's gone on to do a lot of commentary over in Canada. I think he was certainly a very popular captain, was DeVos.
Yeah.
Probably not with us at the best of times. That's the only sad thing for him. But as well, you've said he's got no pace, which he'll probably disagree with completely. I'm sure I'll be on the phone straight away. But I mean, I'm sure he had a bit of pace, but I know what you mean. And who alongside him then, Ryan?
And alongside him, another similar sort of player to Jason was Gareth McCauley.
Ah, interesting.
Say he's another one. He was just so solid. You know, big, strong, and I just used to like them sort of players. You know, I was thinking your centre backs. You want just some. You just don't see it as much anymore, do you? Say like Pete players, like Man U signing a 5'9" centre back, and you'd have never got that years ago, would you?
No.
But Gareth McCauley, he's another one. We probably had him for quite a few seasons as well, didn't we? I think. It was always a solid, 7, 8 out of 10 every week, and I just really liked him.
And he improved a lot at Ipswich Town as well. I thought he ended up playing in the Premier League, didn't he, for quite some time? So I mean, McCauley's done. He did really well at Ipswich, and like you say, he was quite tall. And again, from set pieces again. Yeah. Actually, those two be good from set pieces, DeVos and McCauley.
Yeah, very good.
Excellent. So let's go through your goal in your back four then before we go into your midfield. Just tell us again, Ryan, because I've been interspersing it, which is not a word, but I'm going to use it, interspersing it with darts talk. So where are we then with the goal in the back four?
So I've got Kelvin Davis in goal. Aaron Creswell is left back. Jason DeVos, Gareth McCauley, and Fabian Wilness as my back.
Excellent. So that's your back four. That's going to keep everything nice and tight at the back, which is excellent. Yeah, excellent. So you're going for a 4-man midfield. You said that, Ryan.
Yeah, another 4-man midfield. So
right, let's go on. What are you going to go? Wherever you want to go first.
We'll go. I don't know. Left side, left midfield, and this is another one. You kind of forget about these sort of players, but it was one of my favourites. Was Darren Curry. Yes. You remember him? Yeah. And I liked him because. He was another one, bit of lack of. He didn't have a lot of pace, did he, for a winger?
No, he did not.
But he used to drop his old shoulder, and the amount of times he'd go around players, and I used to just enjoy watching him. He used to say, nowadays wingers have got to be quick and fullbacks, but he didn't have a lot of pace, but he could still go around a defender like he weren't there. He was very skillful.
He was a terrific player. I mean, I like Darren Curry a lot, and I think a lot of people did. I think someone else has mentioned him as their fav team in this series. I'm sure they have, because he was that sort of player. You couldn't help but like him, and it's just something about him, as you say. He didn't have all that pace, but he just did things.
Right. Yeah. So he was very entertaining to watch.
He certainly was. So Darren's on your left, and who's on your right?
But on my right side, it's a bit of a. He could have played anywhere in midfield or up front, but we only had him on loan, and that was Giovanni Dos Santos. And do you know what? I'd done a bit of research on him because I just used to love him, but he only played 8 games.
He did.
So I thought, I don't know if I was allowed to have him in my team, but I remember watching him, and he was just incredible.
Didn't he score about 4 goals? Didn't he score about 4 goals? He scored some goals.
Yeah, 4 goals and 8. But I remember when they got him on loan from Tottenham, and I was like, how? Like, because he was kind of winning out their team. I just couldn't work out why they let him go on loan. But I just remember watching him for the home games, and he was another one. He used to just go past players like they weren't there. He'd go through 2-3 players, and he scored a couple of good. I think out of them 4 goals, a couple of them were long ranges, weren't they? 25 yards. So yeah, he was another one. It's a shame we only had him for a short time.
He made a big impact in a short time. And again, I think someone else has mentioned Santos. Not many people. You're quite unique in some of these names, but I think he did make a very big impression for a lone player with 8 games.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he's another one. I always like watching players who, they get your bum off the seat, don't they? They're entertaining, and he was one of them.
Yeah, he was. He was. I mean, in that very short period of time, you could tell he was a top player, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Excellent. So a couple of good wide players, but like I say, he could have played up front as well, couldn't I suppose, to Santos? But...
I think he played everywhere. He played centre attacking, midfield, left, right. I think he even played up front as well. So he could have slotted in anywhere.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So let's move on to your the centre of the park where it's all going to happen.
Yeah, and this one is another. I think a lot of people have probably had him. Is Jim Magilton. He was, he was a leader. He was obviously captain, and he was another one. He was always good for a goal, wasn't he? And he had given the ball on the edge of the box. He'd always find the bottom corner. And yeah, when I first started going, he was one of the best squad sort of players. So I thought I couldn't leave out Jim Magilton.
Jim was a great leader, as you say. I mean, and he was. And of course, we all remember Jim's. Well, again, you won't remember because you're about 2.5. Jim's semi-final against Bolton, which was the Jim Magilton playoff semi-final. And I think I've told this story before, but I remember interviewing him once for the Green, and we sitting at Portman Road, and I think he had 41 Northern Ireland caps, and I dared to suggest that, Jim, I think I said, Jim, the way I phrased it was, Jim, I see you have gained, you have 41 England caps, or you had, or can't remember, but it implied as though he wasn't going to get any more. And he sort of took me straight up. What? I'm not going to get any more. I'm not going to get any more. I said, no. You have 41. You have 40. You're probably going to get 141. But he was great character and a great person. I really enjoyed the few times I interviewed him, and as a player, as you say,
I enjoyed him as manager as well. I thought he'd done a good job. I think didn't he get sacked after beating Norwich as well?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
And they got Roy Keane in, didn't they? So that wasn't a great move either. But no, yeah, I thought he was a good manager for us as well. So unfortunate to see him go.
Well, he's hugely passionate, and I suppose if you were being honest, you can look at
the club.
You could look at Jim's leaving being a little bit of beginning of a spiral, really. But that's for other people to conjecture. But certainly, it's the way it looked. He was passionate, wasn't he, Ryan? You're right. He was passionate.
Yeah.
But who are you going to put alongside him? Because every put alongside him is going to have to pass to him. You know that, don't you?
Alongside him, this was another tough one. There could have been between 1 or 2 I had in mind, but I've gone for Owen Garvin.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably another. You forget about all these sort of players. He was another one, great player. He was sort of box to box, I think, sort of midfielder, and I used to love watching him play. And I was gutted when he left. I think he left as Roy Keane come in as well. I think he kind of dropped him, I think, and he stopped playing him so much. And then he went to Palace and was playing in the Premiership, wasn't he?
Yes.
So I was gutted when he left because he was another one. He chipped in with a few goals as well, and I just enjoyed watching him play.
Well, Owen was a very popular Ipswich Town player, a young Irish lad. I mean, he was quite tall. Was he? He's quite tall and sort of lean.
Very tall and thin.
Yeah.
And they signed him originally for the youth team because I think he was part of the 2005 Cup winning team as well, the FA Youth Cup.
Yeah, I don't know. I do. I mean, I always remember him being for a centre midfield quite thin and tall and had a sort of a nice move about him. But he liked to tackle. He could score a goal. He was a popular player, Owen. Again, I've got a feeling somebody else mentioned him. He's someone who fans seem to enjoy.
Really good player. It's just a shame. It's another one. Shame we didn't have him for a few more seasons.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, a very good talent. Who moved on. So right, okay. Well, look, in the context of what we do, we like to go back through your team. What have you announced up to now, from your goalie through to your midfield, and we're starting to get an idea in our heads what this team's going to be looking like, Ryan. So go on, take it through again.
Yep. So Kelvin Davis in goal. We've got Fabian Wilness right back, Gareth McCauley, Jason DeVos, Aaron Creswell left back, and I've got in front of Creswell, I've got Darren Curry on the left wing, right side Giovanni Dos Santos, and the two midfield in the middle, Jim Magilton and Owen Garvin.
Fantastic. Very eclectic sort of international mix we have here.
Yeah.
It's Canadians and Irishmen and all sorts of
Canadian.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that leaves me with 2 strikers.
Well, here we come now. This is the big one, of course, because these are the two. This is the sexy part of the pitch. The goals flying in all over the place. So, Ryan, who have been the boys who have entertained you over your time as an Ipswich Town fan?
One of the strikers is my all-time favourite ever Ipswich player. So I'll leave him till last. And
we're going to give him a big drum roll.
We are, yeah. And so my first striker was a really tough one between Canago and Shefty Cucci. And purely on celebration, I'm going to go for Shefty Cucci because he's another one. I just, that celebration was just incredible. He must have broke so many ribs doing that. And I remember at school how many times we used to try and do it. But yeah, but I just bring that season. He had a good few seasons where he was a goal scorer, wasn't he? And he was linked up well with my next striker. So I won't going to say too much, but yeah, Shefty Cucci is my first striker, and I think he's another fan's favourite, isn't he?
Very much so. You weren't in the North Stand
trying to pick the manager job, weren't he? I think as well before McKenna come in.
He was, and I always remember that huge dive he used to do. You're right. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, who would do that? I mean,
the height on that was just incredible. Yeah.
But the fans loved it, and I know we said this before about. I think it was Joe Raw said he'd chase a crisp packet across the pitch for you. He'd just chase and work so hard. That's what fans like, isn't it, Ryan? That's what fans like above anything. Effort.
Effort, yeah. And we haven't had that. Like strikers nowadays, you don't get that a lot now, do you? You don't see, like I say, he would chase anything. He just chased everything down. I think, like I say, he was a very popular player with the crowd.
I think McKenna's trying to bring a little bit more pressure from the front back, from the front downwards. Which I think fans like. They like to see that. Yeah. They like to see players right at the top end putting goalkeepers and defenders under pressure. I mean, I always think to myself, it's good enough for Man City to do it. It's good enough for anyone else, and they're quite good at doing that when they want to. Shefty Cucci, sorry?
That brings mistakes as well. You put them under pressure, so...
Shefty Cucci, yes, fantastic. Yeah. What a player. Now, I don't know if we do a drum roll. I haven't got a drum, so I can't really do one. So, and I can't do it with a blah, blah, blah or something. So, who's your main man with Shefty Cucci then?
So, my last striker... and he's always been my favourite player, is Darren Bent. He's just, he's one come through the academy. He just always scored goals. And I think the thing is, the reason I've got them two up front is because one of my first sort of memories was that 2000 was the playoff season. And them two were up front together, and they just clicked, didn't they? They scored goals. They worked. They just, I thought the partnership with them two was just incredible. And like I say, I don't know why. Darren Bent, he was always my favourite player. He was always on the back of my Ipswich shirts. Everyone I bought, I had Darren on the back. So, yes, that's why I've gone with him up front with Shefty Cucci.
Bent was terrific, wasn't he? He had it all really. He was strong, could score goals. He had pace. Of course, he might have a great career. After he left us. I mean,
Was it Charlton? He left for. And then Spurs. And then Spurs. So he was just always my favourite. I still like him now. I think he's good on the old radio talk show.
Comes over well, doesn't he? He can talk well.
Very well. He's very good on there, yeah. And he only gave up a few years ago. He played up to this sort of into his 30s. So he was just always a goal scorer.
And you had him on your. He was your first shirt, was he? He was your. He
Yep.
was your first
Yep.
town shirt.
Yep. He was. Yeah.
Always was it always Ben? Was he at number 10? Was he number 10? I think he was. He number 10.
18. 18 when he first started.
No.
Number 18. Yeah. So yeah, he's. Yeah, because who else was obviously there was another one I used to like as well, Nicky Forster.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Yeah, I had him on my shirt once, Nicky Forster. Yeah. So but no, Darren Bent was always my all-time favourite.
Yeah, good player, very good player indeed, Darren Bent. Very good player, top goal scorer, and Bent and Cucci, of course, that partnership nearly did get Ipswich back in the Premiership, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I mean, that's another season. I'm not quite sure how they blew that because they were so many points clear, weren't they, at Christmas?
Yeah. That's West Ham, wasn't it? Who?
I see in the playoffs. Yeah, that was never going to end well.
See, and people like you would have, if it had all turned out, people like you would have seen us in the Premiership when you're old enough to see us.
Yeah. So
excellent.
I'm still hoping.
Well, we've got a little way to go, but you never know. Look, hey, Ryan, so there's your team then. We'll have a few subs and a manager in a minute just to finish off, which is great. But I mean, so take us through Ryan Meikle, the top 50 darts player in the world, big Ipswich Town fan. What's your favourite Ipswich Town 11?
Yeah. So my final 11 is Kelvin Davis in goal, Fabian Wilness right back, Gareth McCauley and Jason DeVos as my centre backs, and I've gone for Aaron Creswell as my left back. And then left midfield is Darren Curry. Right midfield, I've gone for Giovanni Dos Santos. And the two centre midfielders is Jim McGilton and Owen Garvin. And then the two strikers, Darren Bent and Shifty Cucci.
See, Cucci and Bent just sort of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It's
that's what I mean. You couldn't have one of them without having the other. So that's why Shifty Cucci got in there in the end. But
it's a bit like salt and pepper.
Yeah,
absolutely right. So, well, brilliant. That's a lovely team, Ryan. Especially from the last, you've been supporting them 14 years. So that's what this is all about, and that's fantastic to hear those names, because a lot of those names bring a lot of good memories back for people. They've got lots of, sometimes things haven't been great, obviously, with Ipswich Town the last decade, but there's still been some very good players who have come through and done a lot. So, nice one. Right now, you said to me beforehand, you've got one or two that you could have. We'll call here are your substitutes. So I've got a few names for substitutes you can ring off.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, there are a couple of them who didn't make the cut. So I've got a left back I had who I liked was Castro Cito. Or was it the other one? Castro?
Yeah, yes.
He was one of my favourites when I used to go when I was younger. So
didn't he get sent off? Didn't he get sent off a lot?
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Was it against Preston? They lost 4-1 or something, I think. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they're just players when I first started. I mean, I didn't have many current. I mean, we've got a great squad at the moment, but I tend to the ones I really liked when I first used to go. So Castro Cito was
fantastic. What was he? Was he left back or right back? I can't remember.
He was left back. I'm pretty sure he was a left back. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Who else? Another one here. Make you laugh, probably. Jamie Peters. Little Canadian.
James Peters,
winger. And do you know what? I always remember him because he must have been probably not even 5 foot tall.
He wasn't. And
I used to remember him winning headers. Like he'd go win a header against their defender. Like the leap on him was just incredible. And he was another one I looked up. He had 99 caps for Ipswich, I think. He scored 4 times, but he was another tricky player, quick. So he was another favourite one of mine.
Wasn't he? Now I always think as a journalist, he wasn't. He Jamie Jaime. It's always the wrong way round. The I and the M. Well, it wasn't the wrong way. It was his name. But you always had to be careful how you spelt his name, or when he first came.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing I remember. Yeah, it was spelt like that.
He was a good little player, and you should say very tricky, very fast, very nippy. Had some good times at Ipswich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another one I said this one's a centre midfielder, Jimmy One.
Jimmy One, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was known because he used to score against Norwich all the time, didn't he?
He did. Just what I was about to say, his goals against Norwich,
Yeah. So I know he was a good player as well, actually. He was one of my dad's favourite when we used to go. He always used to like Jimmy One. So
He wasn't here that long, was he?
He wasn't. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long he played for, but like I said, it was just his goals against Norwich, and anyone who scores against Norwich is going to be one of the favourites.
Was it a free kick he scored at Carrow Road? Was it a free kick or something, or a shot from
It was,
outside?
yeah. I think it was, yeah.
Or I always
Right
remember
on the edge of the box, if I remember.
Yeah. He made and again a player who made a bit of an impression in a very short time.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he was another one. I used to like him a lot. So it was tough to leave him out, but yeah, we've had some great players over the years, though.
No, excellent. Yeah, I mean that I love your sort of eclectic mix of players. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it's all about: having favourite players. Some have only played a few games or not very long, but in that short period. I mean, if I was speaking to my friend in Bristol, Steve Mellon, who will have to do one of these one day, if I mentioned Sixto Peralta to him, he goes nuts because I loved him for the short period of time he was here. You know, it's fantastic. Any more subs, Ryan? While we're at it?
No. The only other one I'd probably put on there, because it was a tight one, is obviously Pablo Canago. Because he was another one. There can't be one Ipswich fan out there who disliked the bloke, I think. So, great player as well. So, but a lot of these players, they never seem to go anywhere else, did they, afterwards? Like Jamie Peters and Canago. I don't know if Jamie Peters never went. I don't think he went anywhere after Ipswich, really. Unless he went back to Canada, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I'd have Canago on the bench as well.
Olay, Olay, Olay. We'd all be singing as he comes on.
Yeah, I say. Yeah.
Were you a bit of a singer at Portman Road? Are you a bit of a singer, or are you?
A bit more nowadays. Yeah. When I used to go when I was younger, I used to sit in the stand. Well, it used to be called the Green King stand. It was always known as the quiet stand, wasn't it? So
which one's that? Is that near behind the dugouts or
Alpha Ramsey one now? Is it?
I see.
We sit there now. Actually, we do sit there now.
At the South Stand, sort of
South Stand. That's it.
Yeah. I've always known them as North Stand and South Stand, but
that's it. The atmosphere is a lot better in there now, actually. Than it used, like I say, when I was younger, it used to be known as a really quiet stand. It's not okay nowadays.
Brilliant. Well, look, Ryan, it's a fantastic team. It all needs a manager because we have to have a manager. And I know that you won't remember Sir Bobby Robson, so it's not going to be him. And it's probably not even going to be George Burley, I wouldn't have thought, because you're too young for him. So come on then. So who's your manager of this super team?
So I think, obviously, being at the moment, I've only seen 14 years in the Championship and a relegation, so I haven't really seen many successful managers. So I've gone for it's got to be Kieran McKenna. Because just think
now, before you say anything, you're the first person to have Kieran McKenna in my favourite Ipswich Town 11 as the manager. Congratulations!
Carry
on.
That's good. No, then I just think he's incredible. And I must admit, I was slightly worried when they got him. Because obviously he never really managed. I know he's been under some great managers when he was at Man United. But the turnarounds, it was very unfortunate. His record last season was 23 games. He only lost 4. And he didn't get in the playoffs today with that. So his tactics, and I mean, even the players have come out and said, the depth they go into, and he's just an all-round good guy, I think. So he's definitely my favourite ever manager.
Well, that's terrific. I mean, like I said, it's all seriousness. We've had no one say Kieran McKenna. We have had 1 or 2 people suggest, I think I'd quite like to go for Kieran McKenna. But then, if you've been supporting Ipswich Town from the Bobby Robson era, you're never going to say Kieran McKenna yet. But he's potentially shown a huge amount of talent, isn't he? And expectation.
We just need to hope we can hang on to him for as long as possible.
Well, I'm sure it's a project here at Ipswich he sees as very beneficial for him as well, not just for the club, but he's making a good name for himself. But I mean, it's like you say, what your thoughts of Kieran when he first came and how you're feeling now?
I just think he's a bit of I didn't mind Paul Cook. I used to just find the bloke funny. I just thought he was a good another one. I mean, they struggled at times, but I think he was a bit unfortunate. With all the players they brought in, probably didn't help. They needed time to gel, and but no, I just think since McKenna's come in, they look so much more solid in attack and defence, and obviously I think he speaks well. He'll never chuck a player under the bus or I think if a player's struggling, he'll help them. He just seems an all round good guy. So I couldn't really look past him. I don't think.
No, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
He's like I say, there's. I mean, Paul Cook, of course. We've got to remember some of the players that are at Ipswich Town now
His
were
Simon.
bought by Paul Cook.
Yeah.
But McKenna's taken it up a level. There's probably
Yeah.
no doubt about that. I'm sure most Ipswich fans will very much agree with that. Well, that's fantastic. So, well, that's brilliant. I'm going to put you to a test here because I'm going to make you say your whole team and subs and manager. If you haven't written them down, you're in trouble now. So I'll help you out if I can, Ryan. But go on then. Here we go.
So
This is it then. Ryan Meikle's favourite Ipswich Town 11, subs and manager.
Yeah. So my goalkeeper is Kelvin Davis. My right back is Fabian Wilness. 2 centre backs, I've gone for Gareth McCauley and Jason DeVos. And my left back is Aaron Creswell. And left midfield, Darren Curry. Right midfield, Giovanni Dos Santos. And I've gone for Jim Magilton and Owen Garvin, my 2 centre midfielders. And my 2 strikers are Darren Bent and Shefty Kuchi. And I think I've got 3 subs, which were Cito Castro, Jamie Peters, it's 4, Jimmy 1, and Pablo Canago. And they will all be managed by Kieran McKenna.
Fantastic.
And that is my favourite Ipswich team.
Oh, great, Ryan. That's absolutely superb. That's absolutely brilliant. Fine. So a quick word about the future of Ipswich Town. Because obviously, as you said, I've been fortunate enough to support them back from the Bobby Robson era. So I've seen a lot of success. Guys like yourself haven't really at Portman Road. But are you excited now about the future? I suppose you must be.
Oh yeah, very excited. The whole place just seems different. These owners are coming. The stadium's looking a lot better as well.
Yeah.
Little things you notice. And, I think the togetherness you can see in the team as well, even the ones who aren't playing as much, they still come out and say how good it is being there. And I think it's a very exciting time. But at the same time, I think we're still all keeping our feet on the ground because I think we had a lead a couple of seasons ago under Lambert. So, but it does feel different. I think, I don't want to jinx things, but I think we'll be safely top 2 this year. And I think we'll be very hard to beat. So I'm quietly confident.
I feel fairly similar to that. One thing I do feel quite comfortable about is what I'm feeling more positive about, I suppose. I think if we did get promoted, or when we get promoted, I think we'd be okay in the Championship. I think that's the thing I'm feeling. There'd be nothing. I don't want to be a yo-yo club and just go up and come back down. We don't want that. I actually feel we're building something that would be. I'm not talking Premier League yet, but I'm certainly talking Championship. Ipswich Town could do quite well in that when they get up in the next. Hopefully next season,
Well, that's funny you say that because I've spoke about that quite a lot actually. I don't think the Championship's nowhere near as strong as what it has been. And you look at this season, Sunderland, Rotherham, I think even Wigan, they're all in the top half or around the middle.
They are.
And all of them teams last season, watching them at Portman, I don't think, obviously good teams, but nothing we should be worried about. And I think our style of football will suit the Championship better. So, I'm the same. I'm hoping if we can get up, I don't think it'd be silly to say we've got a good chance of playoffs again next season. But that is looking quite far ahead, isn't it? So, but no, I do agree with you.
You've got to be confident, Ryan, and you've got to be confident and positive. So that's excellent. Now, Ryan, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you, and I've been really enjoying. I'm fascinated about your darts as well because, as I said, I did play for the Smop once many years back in 1983 or something when I was absolutely hopeless. But I mean, the darts is fantastic what you're doing. When we see it, have you got a little Ipswich Town badge anywhere on your because you all these shirts and all this flashy stuff and have you got a badge?
I haven't got an Ipswich. I've got my shirts. I don't know if you ever know. My shirts are blue. They're black with blue and white on them.
All right.
So that was all.
And your nickname is
the Barber.
Because
I am a barber. I still work a little bit as well. So
great.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird nickname because it's just your job, but it's just another thing was stuck. And when nicknames stick, that's just what everyone knows you from.
I'd like to get that Ipswich Town badge on somewhere. Yeah, get the Ipswich Town badge sewed on somewhere. That fans would love that. I hope Ipswich Town fans who watching this do support and look out for Ryan in the future because it's tremendous that he's I know he's sitting here next to me now, probably feeling a bit, don't start saying all these embarrassing stuff. But it's tremendous what he's doing in the darts world, playing the likes of Van Gerwen and Wright and, and beaten. And Bully Boy Smith, he looks a bit sort of aggressive. Is he as aggressive as he looks? He's
not actually. No, he's a nice lad. He's not that aggressive. Nothing to be worried about.
No, mate, he looks a great lad. I like. He's probably one of my favourite darts players, actually, Michael Bully Boy Smith, to be honest. But yeah, for you to be competing up against them on a fairly regular basis, I suppose, Ryan, is fantastic.
Yeah. No, I'm off to Belgium tomorrow, actually. So I might get to play another one. So
excellent. Yeah. Well, look, good luck with all that. Ryan, thank you for doing your Ipswich Town Favourite Ipswich Town 11. And it's been really nice. And there's been some really, really great players there. I mean, I've really sort of eclectic mix of all sorts. And I loved it. And yeah, so fantastic. Ryan, I hope you enjoyed it. People have enjoyed listening to this. And as I say, when I talk about this, don't forget the Kings of Anglia, and don't forget all our podcasts that we do, not just this one, but all the boys with the KOA pod. And we've been, I think we've been nominated again for awards at there's some awards night somewhere. Apparently, I don't know if we're all going or not. We all went to London the last year to do one, which we didn't win, but I mean it was great night out. And but anyway, we're up to Manchester. I think the next one is, so that'll be fun. Ryan, thanks ever so much for your time. As I said to everybody, listen to the KOA pods, and we'll come back with another My Favourite Channel 11 with someone else very shortly. Ryan Meikle, thank you very much for your time, and up the town, I suppose.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's been great fun. So thank you very much.